Good day, everyone. This is Daniel Pilarta, and I will be reading an excerpt from a book by Wilhelmus Abrakel entitled The Christian's Reasonable Service, Volume 1, on God, Man, and Christ, particularly on Chapter 1, where he discussed the knowledge of God from nature. In this brief introduction, he laid out four matters consisting the essence of Romans chapter 12, verse 1, using the phrase, which is your reasonable service. And they are, first, the foundation of religion; second, the form or essence of religion; third, the regulative principle of religion; and fourth, the practice of religion. First, the foundation of religion, according to Brakel, is the character of God. In this book, he says, the work of his omnipotence and benevolence are indeed reasons to stimulate man to serve God. However, they are not the basis for such service. This foundation is the very character of God. God possesses within himself all the glory and worthiness to be served, even if there were no creature. No creature could have its existence except it be of him and through him. By its very existence, the creature is obligated to God's majesty to exist for the purpose of serving God, having its origin in him, and existing by virtue of his influence. If this creature is rational, then God, because he is God, obligates him who has been placed directly under his creator to honor and serve God and devote his entire existence to him. The character of God eternally obligates the creature, and therefore also man, to this. Who would not fear thee, O King of nations? For to thee doth it appertain. Jeremiah chapter 10, verse 7. Thou hast established the earth, and it abided. They continue this day according to thine ordinances for all thy servants. Psalm 119, verses 90 to 91. Now, secondly, the form or essence of religion consists of man's knowledge, recognition, and heartfelt endorsement of this binding obligation, which is to live unto God at all times and in all things with all that he is and is capable of performing. This is so because he is God, and by virtue of his nature, this is his worthy due. Okay. For this reason, he willingly devotes and sacrifices himself unto God, surrendering himself to the service of God. He does so because he is his God. It is his obligation, and it constitutes his felicity. O Lord, truly I am thy servant. I am thy servant, says Psalm 116, verse 16. One shall say, I am the Lord's, and another shall subscribe with his hand unto the Lord. In Isaiah chapter 44, verse 5. Thirdly, the essential to religion is the revelation of God's will as the regulative principle, according to which man, as a servant, must engage himself. It has not been left to man to determine the manner in which he would serve God, for then he would stand above God. Anyone who engages himself in this way exalts himself above God and displeases the Lord in all his activity. But in vain they do worship me, teaching for doctrines the commandments of men, as articulated in Matthew chapter 15, verse 9. Rather, the Lord himself establishes for and reveals to man the regulative principle indicating what he requires man to do and in which manner he wishes to be accomplished. Should not the people seek unto their God, to the law and to the testimony? If they speak not according to this word, it is because there is no light in them. In Isaiah chapter 8, verses 19 to 20. That ye may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of God. In Romans chapter 12, verse 2. Now, fourthly, the essence of religion consists in an active agreement with and execution of the will of God. All that God wills, the servant of God also wills, because the will of God is the object of his desire and delights. He rejoices that God desires something from him and that God reveals to him what he wishes to have done. This motivates him to perform it wholeheartedly as the Lord's will. Doing the will of God from the heart, as Ephesians chapter 6, verse 6 would mention. Now, as we consider the subject of religion, we shall not only discuss these four matters, but shall do so in order which we have established. In the first place, we must show that God is the foundation of religion, considering both his existence and the purpose for his existence. If man is to make God the foundation of his religion, recognizing his obligation toward him, then he must know God. This makes it necessary first to demonstrate from which source the right knowledge of God must be derived. To continue, Brakel says, God has decreed within himself what he desires to reveal of himself and the extent of this revelation of himself. This knowledge of God is referred to as the original and essential revelation. The knowledge in the rational creature, which corresponds with this, is referred to as conferred revelation. Now, the manner by which this certain knowledge is instilled or granted to creatures varies according to the differences among the rational creatures. Now, the angels know God by an immediate beholding of the countenance of God. Their angels do always behold the face of my Father which is in heaven, as articulated in Matthew chapter 18, verse 10. Such already is and shall be the knowledge of the elect in the state of glory. For we walk by faith and not by sight. 2 Corinthians chapter 5, verse 7. For now we see through a glass darkly, but then face to face. In 1 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 12. Christ, according to his human nature, knows God by virtue of his union with the Godhead as the Son of God, and thus in a more excellent way than can be comprehended by angels and men. For in him dwelleth all the fullness of the Godhead bodily. In Colossians chapter 2, verse 9. God giveth not the Spirit by measure unto him. In John chapter 3, verse 34. Man upon earth knows God by revelation. No man hath seen God at any time. The only begotten Son, which is in the bosom of the Father, he hath declared him. In John chapter 1, verse 18. This revelation occurs either by means of nature in all men, or also by means of the Holy Scriptures, which the Lord grants only to some. And now that ends my reading of the subject on the knowability of God through nature by Wilhelmus Brakel. And once again, thank you for listening and viewing. God bless everybody and good day.